Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
There it is, Kate. Natural-born wine cellar.
Huh, looks like a natural-born cave to me.
It's only on the outside. On the inside, it's a place that any self-respecting wine bottle would be proud to call home.
Uncle Joe, if there's one thing the Shady Rest doesn't need, it's a wine cellar. We got headaches enough without wine.
Mom! A telegram. The cannonball just delivered it.
Oh, my goodness, telegram. My goodness.
Oh, don't worry, Mom. A telegram doesn't always mean bad news.
Well, I know I'm not that old-fashioned. Give me the bad news. Telegram. It's Aunt Winnie. She's gone. That's what the telegram's about. Oh, why didn't she listen to her doctor, the poor thing?
Yeah, that's what it is. Old Aunt Winnie's up and left us.
Poor Aunt Winnie. I begged her to stop nipping on that elderberry wine.
Mom, Uncle Joe, what are you talking about? You haven't even opened the telegram yet.
Yeah, when you do, it'll probably be collect. Aunt Winnie was a miserly old skinflint. Rest her dear sweet soul.
Wait a minute, Uncle Joe. I think we're barking up the wrong telegram. Arriving on 4 o'clock train this afternoon to investigate facilities of your hotel for convention of 40 company salesmen. Signed Brooks T. Webster, Vice President. What's that say?
Groverdale.
Groverdale Lumber, Gravel, and Soft Drink Company.
They do the biggest gravel and soft drink business in these parts.
40 guests. Wow, we could sure use the money they'd bring in.
Use it. We could kiss it. Betty Jo, you run up to the hotel and start getting room number 12 ready for Mr. Webster. Yeah? Yes. Oh, and tell your sisters to start dusting the lobby.
You hear it, Kate? It was just knocking.
Knocking? What was knocking? I didn't hear anything.
Opportunity. I don't see how you could miss it. Don't you see, Kate, a big business tycoon like Mr. Webster would be plenty impressed if I was a wine steward serving vintage red eye with every meal. Red vintage red eye with meat, of course, and white vintage red eye with chicken, of course.
Yeah, of course. We can't dig a cellar, Uncle Joe. We don't have the time, and we have less money. Boy, have we got less money.
No time, their money ain't needed, Kate. That cave's practically ready now to move in them high-class cherries and muscatels. Here, go in and see for yourself.
Oh, all right, Uncle Joe. You are stubborn, aren't you?
I prefer to think of myself as strong-minded. Hey, Kate! I just found an old horseshoe I lost when I was pitching them up here last summer. That means we're going to have nothing but good luck. Tarnation could have caused that. Kate! 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 Kate, are you all right?
Yeah, Uncle Joe, I'm all right.
Well, thank heavens! Thank heavens you're not hurt.
Sure, but I hope you won't mind if I recommend you stop just standing there and start getting me out.
Kate, you're safe, ain't you?
Safe, yes. Comfortable, no. So get moving. moving, please.
Yeah, right. Well, now, don't panic, Kate. Kate, I'll get you help. I'll bring a whole gang of people. I'll bring the state militia. I'll bring tanks. I'll bring an elephant. I'll bring help. Kate, don't panic now.
All right, Uncle Joe, I'll be nice and calm, just like you.
Yeah, atta girl, Kate. Now you're talking. Girls, now don't get excited. Don't panic. Your mother's buried alive.
She's what? Uncle Joe, what are you talking about?
Yeah, now, I beg you not to panic.
Now, we're not panicking. Just tell us what happened.
Well, your mother's not hurt. Now, don't go worrying. She's trapped in her new wine cellar. Now, the first thing to do after you settle and collect yourselves is to let's... No, that won't work. Well, I got it. Girls, wait for me. You need somebody in charge that's got a cool head.
Uncle Joe, Betty and Bobby went on down to the cave. Now, you go ahead with them, and I'll watch the desk.
Right. You watch the desk. I'll go to the cave. And don't get excited.
Mom, can you hear me? Mom, talk to us, please.
Over here, girls. Look over here. I found a hole.
Oh, there you are.
Mom, you okay?
Yeah.
Where's the rest of you?
Well, this is as wide as it is, and the edges are all solid rock.
I see nobody listen to me. I told you there was nothing to panic about.
Uncle Joe, could you come a little closer to me, please?
Would you like to tell me something?
No, I'd like to bite you.
Oh, Mom, what are we gonna do? We can't budge that boulder.
We can't get enough men around these parts to budget. I'll have to go and get Ding Woodhouse and his heavy-duty tractor. I'll hike over Bleeker's Hill here and catch a ride on the county road.
Hurry up, Uncle Joe, please. I gotta get out of here quick. I've got 1,000 things to do before Mr. Webster gets here.
I'll fly like the wind, Kate. Oh, Kate, I hope this little incident doesn't turn you against us having a wine cellar.
Go!
Oh, Uncle Joe, hurry!
Ding, you mean you and this tractor of yours are gonna let poor Kate stay in that cave all night?
Sorry, Joe, can't be helped. Old Bess here needs work on her inside. She ain't as young as she used to be, you know.
Well, neither's Kate. And she's getting older every minute.
Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine. You are lost and gone forever, dreadful sorry, Clementine.
Thank you, girls, for trying to cheer me up. You don't know it, but down here I'm applauding.
Let's give Mom another course in my darling Clementine.
No. Thank you, girls. But I think if I hear once more that part about in a canyon, in a cavern, excavating for a mine, I might scream a little.
Would you like some more coffee, Mom?
No, thank you, dear. The only thing I'd like is the sight of Uncle Joe followed by Ding Woodhouse and his tractor. Why don't you girls go on up and see if you can see anything, huh?
Good idea, Mom. Excuse us, Mom. Nobody yet. No sign of man nor tractor. Uncle Joe's been gone over 4 hours. Mom's sure acting awful brave about it. But underneath, I think she's scared. Not Mom. Oh? Look, if you were stuck in a cave and you had to depend on Uncle Joe to save you, how do you think you'd feel? Scared. Well, I'm gonna go down and see if I can't help cheer Mom up a little bit. Say, Mom, suppose I recite the Raven for you.
No, thank you, dear. I don't know. For some strange reason, I'm just not in the mood for Edgar Allan Poe right now.
Say, I'll go get Bobby Joe. You love her singing.
No, somebody has to watch the desk.
Oh, yeah. Hey, how about a game of hearts?
Yeah, that's a good thought, dear. But what happens when it's my turn to deal?
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'll have some more coffee.
Okay. Say when, Mom.
Ain't like enough.
Sugar?
Level teaspoon, please.
All right. Cream?
Just a splash.
Okay.
Sounded like too much.
Oh, no, Mom, it was just right. Okay, lower away.
Ew.
What's wrong, Mom? Is it too hot?
No, too sweet.
Oh, Uncle Joe, I'm so glad you're here. We've been waiting so long.
How are you, Kate? Everything all right? How are you?
Uncle Joe, where have you been? Mom's been in the cave for 4 hours.
Girls, quiet. Simmer down. Golly, you can't hear it with all that noise.
Hear what, Mom?
The sound of that dandy tractor as that dandy ding Woodhouse drives it over the hill. Now, shh. I'm worried.
Why?
Uncle Joe isn't listening.
Well, don't worry about the tractor, Kate. It'll be here.
Oh, sure, I should have realized. You know, a big, heavy tractor takes a little time for it to get over the hill. But what do you figure, Uncle Joe, about 5 minutes?
I'd give it more time than that.
10. 15? Half an hour? An hour? Well, Uncle Joe, at least tell me if I'm in the right neighborhood.
You ain't even in the right county.
Uncle Joe, what's wrong? Where's the tractor?
It's in Ding's barn in a couple of 100 pieces. Ding promised he'd work all night to get it back together and have it over here the first thing in the morning.
Oh, no, poor Mom. You can't spend the night in this cave.
Oh, girls, don't get all riled up. Just get me a pillow and a blanket, and I'll be fine. This is a real cheerful cave, as caves go.
Well, there's the cannonball. And Mr. Webster's on it. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, well, don't worry. I'll think up something to get us out of this spot we're in. Well, come on, Kate. Don't just stand there with your head sticking out of that silly hole. Help me think up something.
Oh!
How do you do, sir? Welcome to Shady Rest.
Yes, indeed.
My name's Brooks T. Webster.
Yeah, Carson's my name. Better known as your host.
I presume you received my wire.
Yes, and a beautifully written wire it was, too.
The convention facilities here, are they shipshape?
Oh, we're famous for our ship-shape facilities.
How about the meals?
Oh, Bobby, is number 12 ready?
Yes, Uncle Joe.
Now, you'll be in room number 12. That's just up the stairs and down the hallway there to your right.
Oh, wait a minute. I asked you a question about the meals.
I'd rather answer you about the rooms. Now, the rooms...
What time is dinner served?
Tomorrow morning.
You gotta be joking.
No, we finished serving the last meal of the day just before you arrived. Pity you missed it.
That's ridiculous. It's only 5 o'clock.
Ain't you ever heard of daylight saving time? Now, this room...
Mr. Carson, I am very hungry, and I insist on being fed tonight.
Want a friendly tip, friend? Why don't you do like modern think and weight watching people all over the country are doing? Once a week, skip a late meal. Great for your figure.
I want my supper.
You're getting a little spare tire around the middle there, ain't you, Chubby?
For your information, sir, I am the exact same weight and proportion that as I was at Princeton. That's because I play squash 3 days a week.
Hey, with all that exercise, you must be pooped. Why don't you go upstairs and sleep straight through till breakfast?
Uncle Joe, please. If you're hungry, Mr. Webster, you'll eat. And now my uncle will show you to your room.
That's right this way, sir. Well, say I have a great idea. Why don't I take you on our special 4-hour sightseeing tour? We can show you all...
Forget it. All I want to do is clean up, change, and eat.
He looks like he's getting ready to eat for a family of 5. I know. And if he tastes our cooking, we never will in that convention.
We've got to stall him until 9 o'clock. Then we can tell him the kitchen's closed and he won't suspect anything's wrong.
Stall him till 9 o'clock? How?
You, that's how.
Betty Joe! Are you suggesting that I turn on the charm and sex appeal to keep Mr. Webster's mind off food?
I am.
Why, that's low and underhanded and downright sneaky.
You're right. It is.
I'll do it. And I think the work you do is simply fascinating.
Oh, it is. It is.
As a matter of fact, I think everything about you is utterly fascinating.
Well, you know, we've known one another only a short time, yet I feel as though we're close. Quite close, Billy Joe. Hope you don't mind me calling you Billy Joe.
Oh, no, not at all. As long as I may call you Brooks. Brooks. My, what an utterly fascinating name.
Thank you, Billy Joe. Do you mind if I move a little closer?
Well, if you want to, I guess it's all right.
I hope you won't think I'm being too presumptuous.
Oh, no, not at all. Go ahead.
Well, we'd better be quiet about this. I'd hate to upset the rest of your family.
Don't worry about them. Now, what is it, Brooks?
Well, it seems to upset everyone around here every time I mention it, but...
Yes, Brooks. Yes. Yes.
Well, what I'm trying to say is... I'm starved. When do we eat?
Mr. Webster, you are unbelievable.
You couldn't take his mind off food? You're kidding. But, Billy Joe, when you put your mind to it, you can keep a boy in a daze till the cows come home.
I know, but I'm afraid tonight those cows finally came home.
Oh, we better give up on this Mr. Webster. Take my word for it, we're not dealing with a real human being.
We can't give up now. I still say there's a way of serving one of your mother's mouth-watering convention-grabbing suppers.
But that's impossible, Uncle Joe. Mr. Webster is way over at the hotel, and Mom's stuck way out here. Well, we're sunk.
Not as long as you got Frogman Joe Carson to pull you back to the surface. Now, listen to me. I got a great idea starting in my head.
And I got a sinking feeling starting in my stomach.
Now, relax, Kate. This can't miss. Now, girls, I want you to go back down to the kitchen and bring up all the doodads your mother needs to make one of her scrumptious suppers. Dinner is served, sir.
It's about time. I've been waiting half an hour.
I'm sure you'll find our food well worth the wait, sir. Now, the first course is a delicious appetizer. It's a Kate Bradley specialty. Them delicious fruit cocktails is assembled from some of the finest imported fruits, all the way from the county seat. How are you enjoying it?
It was delicious.
That's what I like, a man who don't waste no time chewing.
What's next?
Kate Bradley's fresh-picked, slow-brewed, homegrown vegetable soup.
Well, could we skip the commercial, Mr. Carson, get right to the soup? And I like my soup just one way, and that's piping hot.
As you command, sir. One bowl of soup coming up, and watch it sizzle.
Oh, no, that's a signal for the soup, and it isn't ready yet.
You're right. It needs a little more simmering. But hand me the pepper. I'll hit it with some, and maybe he won't notice. Now, get moving. I've been preparing meals at this hotel for 20 years. This is the first time I ever did it by remote control.
Oh, what a trip.
Serve now, complain later.
That smells great.
Wait till you taste it. Then you'll be served the dish that's been the favorite of convention after convention that's been held here at the Shady Rest Value Headquarters of Watkins County. I'm speaking, of course, of Kate Bradley's famous chicken and dumplings.
Fine, let's have it.
What slowed you up?
Bring on those chicken and dumplings.
Chicken and dumplings coming right up, sir. I hope.
Oh, no, Mr. Webster's finished with the soup, and he's ready for the chicken and dumplings.
He can't be alone. He must be feeding a Great Dane dog under the table.
And the chicken and dumplings aren't hot.
They will be after you hit him with some pepper. Loads of it. Good girl.
Here you are, Mr. Webster. But be careful about gulping this down. It's got bones in it.
Well, it was a tough game, Coach. I sure hope we won it.
Oh, we won. Don't worry. I peeked through the door when Mr. Webster was having his dessert and coffee. Even his stomach was smiling. We've got that convention wrapped up.
Yeah, I gotta hand it to you girls. I never thought we'd...
That sounds like Uncle Joe whistling pitifully from the kitchen door.
Well, that can mean only one thing. Mr. Webster wants more dessert. Quick, the butterscotch pudding.
This is a job for Supergirl. Hi-yo, Silver!
That child never did get her comic strip character straight.
Oh, Mr. Carson.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Webster. We don't allow guests in the kitchen. Cook's nervous, you know. Can't stand crowds.
Well, I merely want to compliment the cook on a marvelous meal.
Oh, well, I'll tell her when she gets back. She just stepped out. Way out.
Do you mind if I thank her in person? I'll wait.
Oh, no. She's a natural-born hermit. One look at a strange face, and she quit.
Well, I just want to say thanks. Well, what was that? I saw something. It was like a flash.
Oh, probably an electrical storm. We have lots of them around here this time of year. Maybe you better get back in the dining room. Safer in there.
That's my dessert. How'd it get here?
It's Morehouse policy. Your wish is our command.
No, I think this is the finest food and service I've ever had. It's almost like magic.
Yeah. Yeah, in a manner of speaking, you could say that.
Sleeping in a cave to anyone, not even a shy bat. Oh, and Ding, if ever I get enough money saved up to make out a will, you and that tractor are going to be in it.
Good morning, everybody. I looked all around after I got up, but I didn't find the... Hey, what's going on here?
We're sprucing up the entrance to our new wine cellar so folks can get in and out easier. I'm Kate Bradley, owner of the Shady Rest.
Oh, then you're the one I want to thank for a most enjoyable visit.
Fine. Now, about reserving the hotel for your company's convention.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I'm just the advance man. The decision about the convention is completely up to Mr. Feasel.
Feasel?
He's the president of the company. He'll be here first thing in the morning.
But you can put in a good word for us, can't you, Mr. Webster?
It won't do a bit of good. Mr. Feasel makes all of his own decisions. He never listens to anyone.
You're joshing. You mean now we got to start all over and show him how great this place is?
You don't have a thing to worry about. When he gets here, just handle the whole thing the same way you did with me. You know, sweet, simple, and no fuss, and everything will be fine. Well, so long, folks.
Goodbye, Mr. Webster.
So long. Bye.
Oh, now stop scraping your chins on the ground. We'll win over Mr. Feasel, and we will land that convention.
Sure we will, Mom. Only next time it's got to be easier.
Right. With you running things out in the open instead of on the inside of a cave, that Mr. Feasel is a sitting duck.
Sure he is. Come on,
Yeah.
let's get on out.
Well, this way, Kate, it's safer.
Oh, no. The last time I took your advice, I wound up regretting it. I'm going this way. Ow!
Mom, are you all right?
Oh, I think I hurt my ankle.
Oh, no.
Oh, how about that? The first time in Uncle Joe's whole life that he gives me some good advice, I don't take it.
You should realize, Kate, that sooner or later I'm bound to guess right. Now, cheer up, girls. Let's look at the bright side.
Oh. Uncle Joe, there is no bright side.
Sure there is. When your ma serves that Feasel one of her famous home-cooked meals, it'll be a shorter distance to carry the food from the bedroom than it was from the cave.
Yep, that's the bright side, all right.
Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Dr. Bone. Mom's upstairs in her room.
Oh, hi, Doc. In my opinion, Kate suffered a minor twist in the lower left extremity. Technically, the ankle.
Yeah, sure.
Take over, Doc. You're on your own.
Well, Kate, it isn't a break, but it is a real bad sprain. You're going to have to be right in that bed for the next 3 or 4 days.
But, Doc, that's impossible with all the things I got to do. Especially with Mr. Feasel coming about that convention. Well, I can't afford to be out of commission 3 or 4 days. Not even 1 day.
Kate, we'll be here to look after things.
Not even 10 minutes.
That's not fair, Mom. We can run the hotel just fine without you.
You'll run it into bankruptcy. Doc, don't just stand there. Cure me.
I'm sorry, Kate, but the only cure for that foot is complete rest. Or the same thing could happen to you that happened to that ornery female over at Ned Crockett's. Yeah, she got back on her feet too soon after a sprained ankle. She'll never wear a shoe on that foot again.
You hear that, Mom? Poor Mrs. Crocker.
Oh, not Ned's wife, his mule.
Look, Doc.
Oh, Mrs. Crocker's trouble is gallbladder. Her feet are in pretty good shape, though, considering.
Doc, I may not have as many feet as some of your patients, but I gotta get on mine right away, or the Shady Rest Hotel is gonna be in nothing but trouble.
Well, I'm sorry, Kate, but you are stuck right there in that bed.
Mom, give us a chance. We won't let you down. I promise.
Scout's honor.
All right, I have no choice. I leave the running of the hotel in your hands.
Oh,
yeah, but just don't squeeze the stuffing out of it.
Oh, you won't have to worry about a thing, Mom.
Okay. I'm real proud of you. I'm glad to see that you aren't as stubborn as my last patient.
Thanks, Doc. Your last patient with a sprained ankle was Ned Crocker's mule.
No, my last patient was Ned Crocker. That's the way the mule sprained her ankle, kicking Ned. All right, come on. Come on, all of you got to get out. I'm going to bandage that ankle. Come on.
Mom, don't worry about a thing. When Mr. Feasel gets here, we'll bowl him over.
Oh, that's nice going, Billy Joe. That should make your mother feel better.
Yeah, I'll take care of the whole shebang, Kate.
Watch it, Joe. Watch it. You wanted to have a relapse? All right, come on. Get out. Go on, all of you. Don't worry.
Poor Mom. Isn't there something else we can do for her? You bet there is. Just live up to half the promises we made about making money for the hotel.
That's no problem. I've been doing it for years.
Making money for the hotel?
No, living up to half the promises I made about it. From now on, girls, this hotel is going to live dangerously.
What do you mean?
Well, we'll put in cleaning and valet service, paint the rooms all them fancy colors, and bring in some classy entertainment like I've always wanted. And that's just the beginning.
Mom won't like it.
Girls, your mother's a fine little well-meaning woman. And I hate to put it this way, but let's be honest. What happened to your mother's foot was a sprain. But to the Shady Rest Hotel, it could be a shot in the arm.
Billy Joe, I don't know about this color scheme. Lavender and magenta?
Uncle Joe says if it's good enough for the Hilton Istanbul, it's good enough for us.
Uncle Joe just got off the cannonball.
Good.
And he's got a cute-looking fellow with him.
Even better. Hey, he's a doll. I wonder who he is. He's not from around here.
How can you tell?
Betty Joe, can you imagine a dream of a fellow like that within a radius of 500 miles that I haven't met?
You're right. He's not from around here.
Smoky, all covered with snow. Howdy, ladies. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Elgin Harner, known as the Smoky Mountain Songbird, and I'm mighty pleased to meet y'all.
Entertainer? Oh, how exciting!
How about that?
Entertainer, huh? Where was he entertaining? The Hooterville pool hall?
No, as a matter of fact, it was the bowling alley. That's just because you're between engagements, right, Smokey?
That's right, Mr. Joe. I was just warming up for my appearance next month at the beautiful new Green Dragon Club in Chicken Run, Tennessee.
Uncle Joe, are you planning to tell Mom about this?
Well, as a matter of fact,
No?
I'll admit that's close.
But this is Mom's hotel, and she ought to be the one...
Now, child, to this hotel, I'm going to be an absolute necessity.
Oh, come on.
You show me a hotel with a singing guitar player, and I'll show you a hotel that's fighting off conventions with a baseball bat.
No kidding?
Well, for true, my little black-eyed Susan, a good food and surroundings ain't enough for them convention fellers. They got to have entertainment, and it's up to the hotel they staying at to give it to them.
Well, that makes some sense, I guess.
Well, thank you, ma'am, for your enthusiastic welcome. I'll accept the job.
Huh?
Well, I gotta have $50 a week, private suite, and meals served in my room.
We'll give you $10 a week, a room in the back, and you'll eat in the kitchen.
I'll take it.
That's wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, let's get back to work. Mr. Feasel will be here in about 48 hours, and when he gets here, I want him to find this hotel a paradise.
You get an idea like redecorating this whole lobby in one day. Do me a favor.
What?
Drop it.
That it, Kate. Why'd you have to go and be so darn clumsy and get us into all this mess?
Yeah, Mom, why?
The doctor says she'll have to stay in bed for at least another 3 days.
And there's only one thing to do.
What?
Get a new doctor.
Is the hotel really in such bad shape? I mean, we've only been running it since yesterday. How long could it take to get it back to normal?
Well, I figure if we work both day and night, including Sundays, about a month.
We got to figure out something to do before that miserable old crank Feasel gets here.
Have you got a room for a miserable old crank? The name is Hurley Feasel.
Oh, Mr. Feasel. Welcome to the Shady Rest Hotel. Say, what a coincidence. We were discussing another miserable old crank named Feasel. I mean, another Mr. Feasel. He's a pig breeder over by Hooterville. You know him?
No, and neither do you.
Gee, Mr. Feasel, we didn't expect you until tomorrow, sir.
Yes, I know. I always show up before I'm expected. Catches people off guard. It's what I call a sharp business maneuver.
It's what I call a sneaky trick.
Joe, shh.
No, she's right. It is a low, sneaky trick. Keep your eye on that child. She shows promise. Now, let me have the key to my room. I want to clean up a bit before I check every last inch of this place for my company's convention. And what I've seen so far is extremely tacky.
Well, we aim to please.
Room 3, Mr. Feasel, our very best.
Oh, no, not that one. That's the one I painted purple in chartreuse. It turned out kind of sickening.
Room...
No, not 5 either. I aired it out last night and forgot to close the window. I don't think Mr. Feasel would like an owl for a roommate.
Well, what's going on? What room do I get?
9? Room 9, Mr. Feasel, the only one we haven't had a chance to ruin. You'll love it.
The only thing I'll love right now is a nice, relaxing bath.
Well, you'll love our bathtub. It's a corker.
It better be.
got through that.
Sure glad he didn't say he wanted a hot bath. Did I tell you the funny thing that happened this morning while I was fixing the hot water heater?
We need the money that convention will bring in, Uncle Joe, and I'm counting on you. Whatever Mr. Feasel wants, see that he gets it.
Oh!
You just got it.
That sounded like Mr. Feasel screaming.
Screaming with delight. I've never seen a man that enjoyed his bath so much.
Top of old Smoky, all covered with...
What was that?
Smokey Harner, Smoky Mountain Songbird.
An entertainer?
Oh, but you show me a hotel with snappy entertainment, and I'll show you a hotel that's fighting off convention with a baseball bat.
You know something? You're right. Makes sense. I gotta hand it to you all. You're a lot smarter than your punkin-headed old mother.
Well, we better go now, Mom.
Of all the baths I've ever taken, that was without question.
Goodness. I never heard anybody get so much out of a bath as Mr. Feasel.
Oh, it's for Mr. Feasel. I figured after his ice-cold bath, he'd be in the mood for some piping hot tea.
Yeah, poor fella. From top to toe, absolutely the bluest man I ever saw. By the way, where is the old human icicle?
Betty Joe is out and back showing him our picnic area. It might be a good place to hold the meetings, if we get the convention. And boy, have I got my fingers crossed.
Ah, relax, honey. It's a cinch. I'll admit we got started on the wrong foot to begin with, but with you girls charming him, me outbraining him, and our secret weapon, the Smoky Mountain Songbird, entertaining him, he's a setting duck.
Duck? Did I hear somebody say duck? Oh, way I like mine's roasted with plenty of yams and grits.
Now listen, Smokey.
Well, now, this'll tide me over till the duck's ready.
Get away from that. We hired you to entertain Mr. Feasel, and so far all you've done is eat.
Yeah, you've been here one night and 11 meals.
Well, I'm just trying to build up my strength for my big performance. Here now, how about one of them cookies? Well, the only thing I had since breakfast is lunch.
No, not until you've worked for it. You can start right now, because Mr. Feasel's coming.
Right now?
Right. It better be good to make up for all your eating.
Oh, well, I'd dearly love to do it. I would. See, well, I got this sudden pain in my plinking hand. Also, my plunking hand. Ooh-wee, it smarts.
They didn't hurt when you reached for the cookies.
Oh, man, now, maybe that's how I damaged them. Best I go upstairs and soak them.
Smokey, just forget the plunking and plinking and sing.
Oh, I can't do it, Mr. Joe. An injured hand always clobbers my voice. Ooh-wee. Ooh.
Oh, Mr. Feasel, how did you like the lovely grounds of the lovely Shady Rest Hotel?
Lovely, eh?
Oh, lovely. Lovely freezing water. Lovely confusion at the front desk. In fact, Mr. Carson, everything around here is so lovely that nothing could possibly make it worse.
Here, Mr. Feasel, have some cookies. We made them ourselves. And they're typical of the fine food that you get here at the Shady Rest.
All right, so I was wrong. There is something that could make it worse, and I just bit it.
Well, our star of order is finally tucked away for the night. Fresh laundry and all.
Fresh laundry?
Sure. Right after he almost choked on that overcooked disaster known as dinner. He asked if the laundry and valet service would wash and iron some of his clothes for him in a hurry. They got all wrinkled in his suitcase on the trip down here.
You did it quick, didn't you? I promised him half-hour service with no extra charge for starch.
You bet I did it quick. His clothes were back in his room in exactly 29 minutes, with plenty of starch that we won't be able to charge him for. I'm happy to report that's the last I've heard from him.
Oh!
Until now.
No, he's not back in that bathtub again.
Mr. Feasel! Mr. Feasel, what's wrong?
Miss Bradley, about the 3 tons of starch you put in my laundry.
Well, there's no extra charge. Policy of the house.
Oh, goody. And another thing,
There's more?
oodles more. If there's one thing I can't stand as a roommate, it's an owl.
Darn it. He changed rooms.
What?
There's no extra charge. Policy of the house.
Goody gumdrop. And I trust there will be no extra charge for my early checkout in the morning, before dawn, if possible. And without breakfast.
You're leaving, Mr. Feasel?
Before they carry me out. Are you sure this place isn't the local branch of Devil's Island?
Oh, hi, folks. Had to make a call over at Ned Crocker's. His mule's better, but his wife's got the miseries now. Thought I'd walk over and look in on Kate.
Oh, Dr. Roan, you've got to get Mom back in shape.
Doc, what's new in the world of miracle cures?
If Mom fixed him one of her special breakfasts in the morning, maybe she could get Mr. Feasel to still change his mind.
I have no idea what you're all blabbing about, but I can tell you one thing. I am not going to let my patient back on her feet until she is completely cured. I told you there is no shortcut, you know.
Well, she's practically perfect by now, Doc. This morning, her groaning sounded much healthier.
Yeah, she's perfect. Yeah, well, I'll take a look at it. You know, Kate, I just can't figure this. Unless it's plain grit or orneriness. But do you know that that ankle is 100% cured? And it's at least 2 days quicker than I expected.
You mean that I can get out of bed?
Well, sure, right now, if you want it.
Oh, boy, do
Easy.
I want to. Doc, you want to dance?
Well,
No, you probably know only those old-fashioned steps. I want to do some of the new ones like that. Cha-cha-cha. Or maybe the Big Apple, huh? Oh.
I'll tell you, Kate, that family of yours down there is going to be awful glad when I tell them you're back on your feet again.
Oh, they sure will. Doc, don't tell them.
Hmm?
No, not right now. Not for a few days.
Don't tell them. Oh, what are you doing, Kate? Trying to make them suffer or something?
No, just the opposite. I just want them to feel better. You see, this is the first time in their lives that they have ever done anything on their own without me standing behind them, telling them what to do.
Yeah, you are the bossy type, all right. I'll admit that.
Well, I figured you would. But you know, at first, I didn't think they could get along without me. But look at the way the hotel is running, smooth as silk. Now, I just want them to enjoy their victory for a little longer.
Well, Kate,
Now, you are not to say one word about my foot being cured. I'm going to stay here for another 2 or 3 days and let them enjoy themselves. And I'm going to enjoy myself, too. I got a whole pile of Billy Joel's movie magazines that I haven't even touched.
All right, Kate, all right. Well, good night, everyone.
Good night, Doctor.
Thanks, Doc. I guess. 3 more days in bed. That's positively inhuman.
Uncle Joe, the only thing that really counts is Mom's health, and we'll just have to solve our problems without her. All right?
All right. You know anything about Harry Carey?
Uncle Joe.
Just a passing thought.
Well, we're not going to give up yet. We're going to take one last stab at making Mr. Feasel change his mind. And I know exactly the weapon we're going to use.
A heavy, blunt instrument?
Smoky Harner.
You mean he's going to hit old Feasel over the head with a heavy, blunt instrument?
No. He's going to sing to Mr. Feasel.
Oh, gee, Billy Joe, I don't know.
Why not? It's worth a try. They say that music soothes the savage beast.
That's true. And old Feasel's about as savage a beast as you're likely to find.
Come on, Smokey.
I just can't, Miss Betty Joe. You gotta understand, I'm a serious artist. I ain't accustomed to singing before eating breakfast.
You'll sing before breakfast or you'll be empty after lunch.
Honey, look, I dearly love to sing. Night or day, what's the difference?
Shh. Smokey, are you ready? Mr. Feasel's about to come down the stairs.
Well, just a minute, I'll see. Me.
He's ready. Sing, songbird.
Me. On top of old Smoky, all covered with snow, I lost my true lover from a courting too slow.
Stop
Stop it, I tell you.
But Mr. Weasel, sir.
The name is Mr. Feasel, sir. I mean, Fister Measle. The name is Mr. Weasel, and stop playing that song.
But
There are a lot of songs I hate, but that is the one I hate the best.
Quick, Smokey, sing something else.
Well, I can't. That's the only song I got in my repertoire.
No.
Yes.
But I thought you were going to sing in a club in Chicken Run, Tennessee.
Well, Chicken Run's a very small town.
This hotel is the daffiest place I have ever run across. And I've done some mighty daffy running across. Goodbye.
Oh, now, look, ladies, I can explain everything. Honest, I can. On top of bowl smoke.
Mom's bound to find out about this sooner or later.
Well, later's the best. By that time, she'll be as strong as an ox again, and the shock won't hit her so hard.
That makes sense.
Naturally. It's the right idea, ain't it?
Some idea. Mom's not going to be as strong as an ox by tonight. And that's when you told her Mr. Feasel would be back with the convention.
That's true. But I said my idea was right, not perfect.
Poor Mom. She's doomed. The shock's liable to keep her in bed for weeks.
Wait a minute. There is a way to keep her from finding out the truth for a couple of days until she gets her strength back. Now, listen carefully. Here's the idea. Now, Mom's stuck up in bed alone. Now, what we have to do is go. Then Jeffrey drew her closely to him and whispered hoarsely in her ear. Wait a minute. Do you hear something?
Is that all he can think of at a time like that, to whisper hoarsely in her ear?
No, Mom. What I meant was I thought I heard something downstairs. Maybe it's those madcap conventioneers. You know, this is about the time they should be arriving.
Oh, I sure hope so. You know, I won't be at rest until they get here. You'd be amazed at the things that could happen It's them. They're here.
Oh, and it sounds like they're having a great time for themselves, if you ask me. Wow, there must be 40 of them, Mom.
Oh, wow is right.
Quite a racket, huh, Mom?
Well, it may sound like a racket to you, Billy Joe, but to me it sounds like money in the bank.
I'd better go down and make sure all those wonderful, generous conventioneers are taken care of.
Yeah, well, why don't you kiss a couple of the nicer-looking ones for me? In a very ladylike way, of course.
Of course.
She fell for it, huh? Like a ton of hotel owners. Billy Joe, you're a genius.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I'm glad you did. Now that in a few minutes we'll quiet down and I'll go upstairs and I'll tell Mom the conventioneers are outside having their meeting about the business. Their...
If there's anything I love, it's a party.
Well, hello, folks.
Mr. Feasel.
We thought we'd never see you again.
Oh, Mr. Feasel, I'm Kate Bradley.
How do you do?
Won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Betty Jo, get a plate and a napkin, some silver.
Now, I decided to hold a convention here after all.
But I thought you hated this hotel.
I do. But you see, the 40 men who will be coming here for the convention are trainees, young new salesmen who will be going out on the road for my company.
Yeah, but what has that got to do with...
Well, I figured the best thing to do is give them a couple of days of this hotel. After that, they'll be able to stand anything. Wait till they taste this food. Why, it's, Good heavens, it's delicious. Why, it's marvelous. Why, it's the best chicken and dumplings I ever tasted.
Well, thank you.
What happened? Oh, this is terrible. You've ruined everything. Oh.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
What's the rush?
Oh, I gotta beat my sisters up to the hotel. I want to see the look on Mom's face when she gets a load of Billy Joe's new dress.
Yeah, that ought to be right entertaining.
That's what I figured. So long.
Bye, hon.
Hey, Betty Joe, don't forget the mail.
Thanks, Floyd. What was that?
A blur, otherwise known as our baby sister.
Well, here goes, and wish me a lot of luck. Sure, but you're gonna need an awful lot of it. You know, that dress is much too tight. Mom's never gonna let you keep it.
Well, it's all a matter of psychology. Come on and see. Mom, will you take a look at this dress? Don't you think I ought to take it back and get a size smaller?
I don't think so.
But, Mom, it hangs on me like a burlap sack.
I don't think so.
Well, all right, if you say so. I'll keep it.
No, you won't. You'll take it back and exchange it for one 2 sizes larger.
Mom!
You'll do as I say, or you won't keep it at all.
Gee, Mom.
All right, get one size larger.
Mom, thank you. You know, I had this planned so cleverly. Something went wrong.
Well, next time, make sure you don't use the same psychology tricks I used when I was your age.
I knew you'd do it, Mom. I just didn't know how.
I say, jolly good show, smashing. Well, have to get cracking.
Ta-ta. Anything for me, Uncle Joe?
No. Couple here for some fella named Shady Rest Hotel.
Wouldn't it be easier if you opened it up and read it?
I'll bet you a nickel this one's a bill.
The odds are too much in your favor.
Some company wants us to buy a couple of mink, start a mink farm. Hey, that wouldn't be a bad idea, breeding mink coats.
Did they tell you where to buy the silkworms?
Silkworms?
So we can breed linens for the coat.
You're taking them wisecracking pills again, huh? Here's one for you, marked personal.
Oh.
What's your reservation?
Well, that's good news.
Says she'll be here on the 1 o'clock train.
Well, it must be about 3 now.
She'll probably arrive on that 2:30 run at 5 o'clock.
If it's on time. Who's the new guest?
Adelaide Keene. You know anybody with that name?
Miss Keene? Is she coming here, old Genghis Keene herself?
Genghis Keene?
Yeah, she was the teacher who was so strict her pupils nicknamed her after Genghis Khan. You know, the roughest, toughest barbarian that ever lived.
Oh.
Names you give your teachers. Why, when I went to school, we had some Wait a minute. Miss Keene was my teacher, too. Well, what do you know? Old Genghis is coming here. Didn't she retire a year ago?
Uh-huh. She said she was going to travel. Oh, wait till Billy Joe hears about this. Miss Keene used to give her an awful hard time.
I remember once she caught me chewing on a pencil, and she kept me after school until I chewed up the whole box of pencils. And I never chewed on one since.
Well, if you think that's something, Mom, you should have been there the day that she caught someone chewing gum in my class. She made him stand and face the blackboard for 15 minutes.
Well, so it's like he deserved it.
Mom, this was another teacher.
Well, she was pretty strict, all right. But she was the best teacher that Hooterville ever had.
She sure was.
Remember the big testimonial dinner they gave for her retirement?
Oh, that was a big event.
What'd they present her with? Gold whip?
Now, watch her. She's going to take over like she owned the place. She'll demand the best room in the hotel, prompt service, and... Miss Keene, how nice to see you. Welcome to Shady Rest.
Hello, Catherine. It's nice of you to accept me as a guest.
Nice of us. It's an honor to have you here.
Hello, Miss Keene.
Hello, Bobby Joe.
Hello, Miss Keene.
Billy Joe. How nice to see you.
No, you already know Uncle Joe, and that's my youngest, Betty Joe.
How do you do, Betty Joe?
How do you do, Miss Keene? You're looking very well.
Oh, there's no need to be polite, dear.
Oh, Uncle Joe, would you show Miss Keene to room 12?
Sure, Kate.
Watch her spring into action when I tell her supper's gonna be late. Oh, Miss Keene, supper's gonna be a little late tonight.
That's perfectly all right.
Sure had her spotted, Kate. She's real terrifying.
That's who you nicknamed Genghis Kane, that timid little old lady?
I can't understand it. Well, she must have gotten into that mood from all that traveling. Well, there's only one thing to do. We gotta snap her out of it.
Mom, that's gonna take a lot of snapping. She's coming down, Mom.
Oh, I'm glad.
What's holding up supper, Kate? You got 4 starving loafers here.
Well, just tighten up your belts for a few minutes. We gotta try and get that poor woman riled up enough to insult one of us. Come on, girls. Are you ready for supper, Miss Keene?
Oh, yes, but I don't seem to have much of an appetite these days.
Oh. Well, have you ever tried chewing on a pencil like this, Miss Keene?
Well, if you think it would help. Those pills I've been taking don't seem to be doing me any good.
How do you like my new dress, Miss Keene?
It's very pretty, dear. It's a nice color, too. Is that gum you're chewing and pulling out of your mouth?
Yes, it is. It's gum.
Disgusting.
Could I have a stick after supper, please?
I don't think a stick of gum's gonna do it. We may have to try a stick of dynamite. Did Miss Keene get her glass of warm milk, dear?
Yes, but she didn't drink it. She got too involved in helping Betty Joe with her homework.
Why is she bothering that poor woman?
Oh, well, because Betty Joe's having a little trouble with her algebra. And she heard us all talking about what a great teacher Miss Keene is.
What's the matter, dear?
I just made a terrible mistake. I asked Miss Keene to give me a little help with my homework.
That's not the thing to do.
You said it. What she gave me was a lot of help. And, Mom, were you ever right about Miss Keene as a teacher? She's the toughest thing this side of the railroad tracks.
Bobby Joe, you go up to Miss Keene and ask her for help on your homework, too.
But, Mom, I don't need any help.
Oh, yes, you do. Now go on and get it.
Mom, I'm an A student.
Not anymore. From now on, you're a struggling C-.
Oh, I get it. Struggling C-minus student Bobby Joe Bradley ready to report to active duty to Miss Keene's room.
Good girl.
Well, hi, Mom. Billy, come on in. Please.
Back to your work, Betty Joe.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Catherine, what is it?
Oh, I just wondered if you knew it was getting late.
Thank you for the information. Anything else?
Don't you want some sleep?
No.
I do.
Catherine, you're disrupting us. Can't you see that? Now, unless you're prepared to take charge of these sadly neglected studies, please leave.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Keene. Gladly. Gladly.
Mom, are you going to let Miss Keene insult you that way?
Well, until she finds another way, that way's going to do just fine. Just fine.
Come on,
Did Miss Keene come down yet?
She just went into the dining room.
What's the matter with you girls? Don't you feel well?
I bushed, Mom. Last night was our third tour of duty. How about sending in some replacements? We're getting battle fatigue.
Now, girl, you should be happy about doing a good deed. Allowing Miss Keene to help you is just what she needs to get back some of her confidence.
She may be getting back hers, but we're losing ours. And she's worked out a plan of attack for us for every night next week. Genghis Keen rides again.
Billy Joe, I will not have you calling her that name.
I'm sorry.
Betty Joe, you bring in the coffee. Genghis is waiting. I mean, Miss Keene is waiting.
You may be seated now.
Yes, ma'am.
Gentlemen will be gentlemen as long as I am a guest here.
What happened? What's wrong?
Didn't you know, Kate? Gentlemen always rise when a lady enters a room, and they don't sit down until the lady has sat.
Oh, I like that.
I think this could be fun.
Now, Betty Joe, stop that.
Uncle Joe is right. Betty Joe.
I just wanted to see if it would work.
Well, did you sleep well, Miss Keene?
I'm getting the best sleep I've had in years.
What's going on?
I've decided it's time the men around here acted like gentlemen.
Now, just a minute. Don't nobody tell me I ain't no gentleman.
Joseph Carson, do you realize you've accomplished the impossible? Don't nobody tell me I ain't no gentleman. 4 negatives in an 8-word sentence.
Did you hear that, Mort? I ain't never had no education either.
Obviously.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
You may be seated, Billy Joe. Now we can begin our breakfast.
Oh, not yet, Miss Keene. Charlie and Floyd aren't here.
Don't they know when you serve breakfast?
Oh, yes, but they're always a little late.
Well, then perhaps if they missed a meal or two, they'd learn to be on time. Now, Billy Joe, as soon as we've finished eating, we'll start a course of study for you.
Mom?
I think it's a good idea.
Kate, could I talk to you for a minute? Don't bother about getting up. It's only me.
What's the matter, Uncle Joe?
That visiting demon from the world of books and rules. That's what's the matter. You gotta get rid of her, Kate. She's ruining everything around here.
Uncle Joe, I know she has been hard on the family.
It ain't just the family. She's ruining all the business we got.
Uncle Joe, aren't you jumping to conclusions again?
Yeah? Well, how's this for conclusion jumping? This morning she ran off 2 salesmen before they had time to check in.
Well, maybe they weren't even going to...
Hey, I came here to loaf, not to be lectured. I'm checking out.
What happened?
Seems like I shouldn't have come to the table without being clean-shaven.
Oh.
Also, I did the unforgivable. I split an infinitive and dangled a participle. When she leaves, I'll be back.
Are you satisfied?
Well, Uncle Joe, if I tell her she's been carrying her authority too far, it'll break her heart.
Well, if you don't, it'll break our measly bank balance.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'll fix her a nice supper tonight, and then I'll try and find a way of telling her that she has to leave first thing in the morning.
Good girl, Kate. And give it to her straight. Really get it across. Don't act like you're afraid of her.
Where are you going?
Upstairs to shave.
Serving supper already?
Yes, and then I want to tell you something.
Where are the others? The girls?
Oh, they're around somewhere. We're having your favorite for dessert, blueberry pie. And then I want to tell you something.
And your Uncle Joe, he doesn't seem like the type who would miss supper.
She insults you to your face, then turns right around and does it behind your back, too.
And the salesman? And Charles and Floyd, where are they?
They're around. Now, I want to tell you something.
Oh, I don't know. It's the same old story all over again. Everywhere I go, I drive people from me. Oh, Catherine, I'm going to be leaving in the morning. And then you can get your lovely daughters and your wonderful friends back again.
Now, that makes it easier for Kate.
She's saying what Mom would have found it hard to say.
This is a cinch.
Miss Keene, I never heard such nonsense in all my life. Why, the reason nobody is here is because Well, the girls are up in their room having a picnic supper. No ants, you know. and Uncle Joe and the boys, they have a running game of pinochle. They play on the cannonball, going from Hooterville to Pixley. And the salesmen, they come and go. You know how they are.
You mean I really haven't scared them all?
You scare people off? Oh, that's amusing.
Sometimes when it comes to handling a situation, your mother is pathetic.
You not only brought honor to the Shady Rest by your mere presence, but culture and discipline.
Bankruptcy and disaster.
Your words are very reassuring.
Well, I'm glad.
You may serve when ready.
Uncle Joe, girls,
We know, Mom. We heard.
Well, I just couldn't be responsible for making that poor woman depressed again.
We understand, Mom. It's just that Miss Keene has to be a teacher no matter where she is.
Yeah, but why did that where have to be here?
Maybe we can find another way to handle this.
Well, sure we can.
Well, we've worked our way out of tougher situations before.
You bet we have.
And there's never been a problem we couldn't lick.
Never.
Right. But there's got to be a first time for everything. Sam, this is the best spot in town for this project.
Well, you know what they say, Kate. Stand in front of Sam Brucker's store for 24 hours and you'll meet every citizen in Hooterville.
Here comes Fred Ziffel.
Oh, girls, get ready.
You going after the likes of him?
A dropout's a dropout.
Well, free refreshment, huh? Where are they?
Well, I have to ask you a few questions first, Fred. Do you believe in education?
Yep.
Congratulations, you did it. You won.
I did?
Yeah.
Well, Sam, how about that? I won myself free refreshment.
Oh, just a minute. You did finish grade school, didn't you?
Well, almost.
How far'd you go?
4th grade.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, Betty, you better cross out refreshments.
Well, now, hold on now. Let's talk a little more now. Maybe I can win them back.
Oh, all right. Did you know that statistics show that the more education a person's got, the more successful he's bound to be?
Well, you're doggone right I do. If them loafers down at the pool hall had as much education as me, they might be pig farmers, too.
And if you had more, you'd be a better pig farmer.
And wouldn't it make you proud to be able to tell folks that you'd gone as far as the 5th grade?
Oh, yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
All you have to do is come to school one night a week. That's when we serve the refreshments.
And you read about the president saying he wanted every American to get as much education as he possibly could, didn't you?
Do you consider yourself a good American?
Well, I'll fight the first man that says I ain't.
Be at the railroad crossing nearest your house Monday night at 8:15. And sign right there.
Oh, that's all I got to do, huh? All right. Now, I'll sure be there. Well, I'll see you all there. Oh, I almost forgot what to come after. Sam, give me a jar of that bubble bath.
Our first drop-in.
Hi, Billy Joe. What you doing?
Well, hi, Harold. He left high school after his first year. It's sure nice to see you. Where have you been keeping yourself?
Oh, I've been around.
You have, huh? Then I guess it's me that hasn't been, since the only time I'm free is Monday nights.
Yeah? Then how about a date for this Monday night?
Oh, I'd love to. Oh, dear. That's the night I have to help Mom with her new educational program for dropouts.
Well, I'm a dropout.
Maybe some other time, Harold. Bye. He's hooked.
Mrs. Bradley, I'd like to join your program for dropouts.
Oh, Harold, you are the tricky one, aren't you?
You have to get up pretty early to outsmart me. I'll see you Monday night, Billy Joe.
If it wasn't for his own good, I'd disapprove of that method, Billy Joe.
Mom, we need more pupils.
What's wrong, Fred? Have fun in school.
Bye, Fred. See you Monday night.
Bye-bye.
You know, Sam, offering the use of your property was very nice of you.
Ah, it's a pleasure, Kate. Sorry I can't do more.
Oh, you can?
Well, you just name it and I'll do it.
Well, as I recall, you dropped out of school in the 7th grade.
Yeah. Oh, now, wait a minute, Kate. I'm a self-educated man.
Got it. Sam Drucker, 8th grade.
Oh, this is ridiculous. I'm mayor of Hooterville and the editor of the newspaper. and-
Great, Sam. I got a hunch you're going to be teacher's pet. Charlie's slowing down for Harold Boggs.
I'll help him with his lesson, Miss Keene.
I never felt so stupid in all my life. Do you think she'll give us homework?
Knock it off, will you, fellas?
Samuel, Joseph, Lloyd, I will not tolerate any whispering. Now read your lessons. I'm going to ask questions later.
Hi, Billy Joe.
Hi.
You gonna sit near me?
You never can tell.
Harold, sit right there.
That's Genghis Keene. She's the reason I left school in the first place.
She's changed, you'll see.
Harold Boggs, take your seat.
She's changed all right. From a raging tiger to a raging lion.
Fred, you can't bring your pig to school.
Well, if Mary can bring her little lamb, I can bring my little pig. Come on in, Ruthie, and see for yourself.
Hello, Ruthie. I didn't believe him. I thought he was meeting another woman here. I got a terrible jealous nature, Kate. Now that you're here, how about continuing your education? I don't mind if I do, then I can be near my man. Sure, I'll have Miss Keene fix your lesson. How far'd you go in school? Oh, I finished the 3rd year. In high school? Nope. Grade school. When I drop out, I don't fool around. I got a feeling this school's never gonna turn out a Madame Curie.
Joseph Carson, give that book back to Floyd.
Well, make him stop throwing spitball.
Fred Ziffel,
Ma'am?
must you hold that pig in your lap?
No, Ruthie can hold it in her lap.
Joseph, if you don't give that book back to Floyd, you'll stay after school and clean the ashtray.
When's recess?
Miss Keene, what happens if I don't show up next Monday?
You'll bring a note from your father.
What happens if I don't show up?
You bring a note from your son.
Now, class, open your books to page 10. We will begin with paragraph 1. Now, who can tell us what are the basic components of a sentence?
Harvard University, watch out. Are you sure Sam found her a nice place to stay?
Just perfect, Mom. Right near the library. Here she comes.
Oh, dear. This is such a wonderful group. I hate to spoil it by giving you bad news.
Bad news, Miss Keene?
Oh, yes. I'm going to have to leave the Shady Rest.
Oh, why?
Well, as long as I have so many dropout pupils and classes 3 nights a week, I'm forced to move into town to be near the library.
Miss Keene, what a shame.
Please don't go, Miss Keene. The place won't be the same without you.
Oh, Catherine, girls. Don't make me feel any worse than I already do. You must try to understand that as busy as I'm going to be, I cannot afford to lose precious time in transit.
I'm afraid she's right, Kate.
This, then, my friends, is not goodbye, but merely au revoir. Oh, never mind. I can carry my own bag.
Yes, teacher.
Goodbye, Miss Keene. Come back and see us.
Until the cannonball's out of sight, don't nobody say nothing.
Joe.
What's the matter, Kate? She can't hear me.
She's only been gone seconds. And already you're back to using double negatives.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Blast off!
7 o'clock. Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, Betty Joe. First day of school. Time to get up.
What's the matter, Kate? Is the hotel on fire?
No, Uncle Joe, it's the first day of school.
Well, what did you wake me up for? I've already graduated.
Billy Joe! Billy Joe!
I'm up, Mom.
Well, get a move on. You gotta get dressed and eat breakfast before the cannonball gets here.
I was having the most beautiful dream. There was this boy and I.
Put a bookmark in your pillow and you can finish it tonight. Now get moving. And don't go back to bed. Betty Joe? Betty Joe, are you up?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, hurry and get dressed. You're gonna be late for school.
Gee, Mom, I don't feel so good.
Oh, anything serious?
It might be.
My goodness. Well, maybe we should have Doc Stewart take a look at you.
I think so, too.
Fine. You go see him this afternoon when school's out. Now, no more nonsense. Get dressed.
I tried.
Bobby Joe! Bobby Joe! You better hurry. But you're all ready.
I've been up for an hour.
Did you know that this was the first day of school?
Well, sure. I've been looking forward to it for over a month now.
You know, I wish your sisters were more like you, or you were more like them, so I could concentrate on one type of worry.
Morning, Mom.
Morning, darling. Billy! Betty! Second warning, get hustling. Come on. Billy Joe, breakfast on the table.
Did you ever have old Miss Hawks in English?
Old Miss Hawks?
Well, she's almost 35.
I wish I could say the same. Billy Joe.
Good morning.
Billy Joe, what are you dressed for?
Secretarial school.
Oh, they're having a party the first day? Now, you turn right around and get into something suitable. And take off that eye goop and those droopy eyelashes.
Mother, this is what a secretary wears.
To keep the boss's mind off the fact that she doesn't know shorthand? Now, skedaddle.
Oh, Mother.
I don't know if I'm doing the right thing sending her out into the business world. I don't think they're ready for her.
Train's here.
Come on, girls. Come on, come on, come on. Well, you look a lot more sensible.
Okay.
Bye,
Mom.
dear.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Mom.
Bye, honey.
Bye, Uncle Joe.
Bye.
Oh, thank you. Bye.
Just a second. This term, do you suppose you could concentrate a little more on cooking and sewing and less on batting and fielding?
Bye.
Bye, honey.
Bye. Come on, Billy Joe. Betty Joe. Ooh.
Well, summer's over. From now on, it's going to be mighty lonely around here all day.
I won't mind a little peace and quiet. Give a man a chance to think.
About what?
About how lonely it's going to be around here all day.
Another school term and another set of problems. Wonder what they'll be this year.
I told you to stop following me. Go back. Hi, Floyd. Charlie.
Who's your friend?
He followed me from school.
Don't he know who he belongs to?
I guess not.
You know, they ain't getting as smart a group of dogs waiting outside the school as they used to.
Go back to school. Somebody's probably looking for you.
Let's get going.
So long, Pooch. Sure is a cute little rascal.
Yeah. Wish I could take him home. So, Charlie stopped the train and we picked him up.
Kate, I was just out back.
It's all right, boy. That's Uncle Joe.
Where'd that mangy mutt come from?
Easy, boy.
He followed Betty Jo home from school.
Mom, I was wondering if...
The answer is no.
But you didn't even know what I was going to ask you.
Oh, yes, I do. You can't keep the dog.
One thing we don't need around this hotel is some flea-bitten hound eating us out of house and home.
He's only a little thing. He won't eat very much.
Of course, he'd promise anything just to get to stay here.
He's real smart. I found out he can do all kinds of tricks. Roll over.
Any dog can do that. I'd like to see him walk on his hind legs.
Mom, look at that.
Oh, Betty Jo, I admit he's smart and he's cute. But you can't keep him. He goes back on the first run of the cannonball.
Why?
Because wearing a collar and doing tricks, obviously he belongs to somebody.
Then why did he follow me?
Well, first day of school, kids rushing out. More than likely, he got confused.
Yeah, getting confused is probably what he does best. He ain't got no sense of humor either.
Mom, please.
I'm sorry, Betty Jo, but you got to take him back to the high school on the first run of the cannonball. Probably one of your school chums is running all over looking for him.
Wouldn't it be easier if we kept him overnight, and I took him to school with me tomorrow morning?
The next run.
Your ma's right. If we feed him and keep him overnight, we'll never be able to part with him.
Uncle Joe should know. That's how we got him.
Goodbye, Charlie. Lloyd. Come on, boy. I've got to take you back to school so your owner can find you. Somebody's probably looking all over for you. Now, you be a good boy and stay here. Well, I've got to be going. Oh, don't look at me like that. Mom won't let me keep you. Here. Gnaw on this. It'll keep you busy until you're called for. So long.
He didn't follow you, huh?
No. He sure was cute.
I've seen a lot of dogs who was cuter.
Well, I ain't. He was about to... No. No, he wasn't very cute.
That's all right. He probably does belong to somebody. And I might just as well forget about him.
Let's go. But, Kate, we didn't know he'd snuck back into the coach.
Half the time you don't look back to see if the coach is coupled on.
That ain't true. Half the time we do.
Well, you'll just have to take him back with you.
You mean leave him in front of the school all night? Oh, Mom.
Well, first thing tomorrow morning, then.
Why don't we keep him here? And I'll put a notice on the school bulletin board.
Betty Joe, it's obvious that you're too soft-hearted to take him back. It's a job that's got to be done by the only one in this family with enough backbone not to be swayed by an appealing face and a wagging tail.
I'd like to, Kate, but I'm going to be busy tomorrow.
I mean me. What are you sitting down for? We've only covered 5 farms. We got 6 or 7 more to go. Somebody will claim you. Come on. What's the matter? Oh. Your feet are killing you. Well, mine are killing me too, but I'm... Oh. Come on. No, I didn't find out who he belonged to. Who'd claim a dog you gotta carry?
You carried him?
I had to. He was limping so bad. Isn't that pitiful?
Mom, you brought him back. Here, boy.
That little rascal. He was acting.
You call that acting?
It's just as good as the lumbago performance you put on when there's work to be done.
Well, what are we going to name him?
There's no sense in naming him. He's going back the minute anybody answers the ad I put in Sam's paper.
We know. How about calling him Spike? Here, Spike.
Oh, I like Prince. Here, Prince. Here, Prince.
I think we should call him something intellectual like Byron. Come here, Byron. Come here.
You'll answer to anything. You're stupid.
I know. Why don't we call him Henry? He looks like Billy's boyfriend, Henry Brewster. Well, they both have the same soft brown eyes, and their hair comes down over their collars the same way.
They're not a bit alike.
No. Henry's got a lot more wolf in him.
Oh. Gee, Mom. Thanks for letting me keep him.
Yes, but just don't get too attached to him. Anybody claims him, I don't want you making a fuss.
I promise.
And you got to take care of him from now on and water him and feed him.
I will. And he can sleep in my room.
He sleeps in the kitchen by the stove like a dog should.
Yes, ma'am.
And if he causes any trouble at all, claimed or unclaimed, out he goes. Billy Joe, school.
I'm up, Mom.
Betty Joe. Bobby Joe.
Up and dressed, Mom.
Betty Joe. Betty Joe. That dog was supposed to sleep in the kitchen.
He was lonely.
From now on, he sleeps in the kitchen. Betty Joe.
What's the matter, Mom?
I tripped over your dog. He was sleeping right in the doorway.
Well, you said he should sleep in the kitchen.
I meant at night.
Oh. Did you hear what Mom said? From now on, just sleep in the kitchen at night. Any special place you want him to sleep during the day?
Any place at all, as long as it's outside.
Betty Joe! Betty Joe!
What's the matter?
That hound's sleeping in my chair.
Well, Mom said he could sleep anywhere outside.
Not in my chair, he can't.
I'm sorry. Get down. Down, boy. It won't happen again.
We'll see that it don't. Miserable critter. Thinks he can sit in anybody's chair he wants to. Knucklehead forgot his knuckle bone. Here, bury it.
Stop that! Stop that! Scoot! Scoot!
Look at what your dog just did.
I'm sorry.
So am I. Somebody's going to have to do that wash over again, and it isn't going to be me.
I'll be glad to do it.
I figured you would. Now what?
Mom, look what that darn dog did!
He made me spill a whole bowl full of eggs.
Left that greasy bone in my chair.
He got dirt all over my clean wash.
And ruined my party dress.
And that's a pretty good record for one dog in one day.
Well, he hasn't done anything to Billy Joe.
Billy Joe, did you miss me while I was away this summer?
A little.
Oh? How was secretarial school?
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
Good. Pa's been talking about me working in the store. Someday I might own it.
Get down, Prince.
Well, anyway, I was...
Get down, Rex. Go away, Spike.
You know, if I worked in the store, I could be making pretty near, it's hard to say, you know, with commission and all. Well, anyway... Let go. Billy Joe, call your dog. Let go. Billy Joe, call your dog.
Mom! 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 The dog's got a hold of Henry's arm and he won't let go. I'll get him.
You'll stay right here. This is the first time that Henry ever sat in that swing with Billy Joe that I've been able to do my bookkeeping with perfect peace of mind. Always look forward to your visits about this time of year, Mr. Pearson.
Well, thanks, Mrs. Bradley. Oh, I told 4 of my salesmen to meet me here to go over our new sales campaign. Will you be able to put them up for 3 or 4 days?
Oh, sure.
Hold it, Kate. We're a little full up this time of year.
Well, I'd appreciate anything you could do, Mr. Carson.
Well, seeing you're one of our regular customers, I'll see what I can do for you. Let's have a look at the reservation.
Oh, sure, Uncle Joe. Here, it's right back here.
Now, let's see. 4 and 6. We can shift them into 3. And 5's checking out. I think we can take care of you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Carson.
Here, number 5, at the top of the stairs.
Thanks.
Uncle Joe, why do you pull this same stale routine on Mr. Pearson year after year?
He might not want to stay if he thought we were starving for business.
Well, aren't we? All right. In the kitchen. Good night.
What's going on in here?
Wait, leave him alone. Wait, don't.
Oh, no!
Here's some shaving lotion Charlotte Floyd gave me for Christmas. The last good smelling stuff I could find.
No thanks, Uncle Joe. I don't think that would be much of an improvement.
I'll never get to use this stuff up.
Well, I got number 5 scrubbed up to where it's livable. He's almost bearable. Now get a rope and tie him up until Floyd and Charlie get here. They'll take him back to Hooterville.
But if you don't...
We made an agreement. If he caused any trouble, he was to go back. And I don't think there's any argument about him causing trouble.
You know, it only made a lot of extra work, but he lost us one of our best customers. Not to mention them 4 salesmen that was supposed to stay here.
I'm sorry, boy.
But you gotta admit it's for the best.
I read the ad, and it sounded just like one of our dogs.
Well, take a look out back, Willie. He's tied up there.
Well?
It ain't him.
Thank you, Willie.
Come on, boy. We'll take you home. Are you sure you ain't made a mistake, Willie?
Yeah, I'm positive.
But are you sure?
Yeah, he was really one of our dogs.
Well, I'm a man that holds to my agreements. Give him the $1, Floyd.
But...
Give him the $1.
Look, I can't take no money.
But we made a deal. If you was to tell Betty Joe...
Oh, he wasn't really our dog. Just a couple months ago, he kind of wandered into our place. He never did get along with any other hounds.
One thing for sure, Willie, he's got a good home.
Yeah, but you know, there's one thing I ought to told Miss Bradley about that dog. He just loves to chase skunks.
Come on, Fuzzy. Come on, Rover. Come on, Rex. What
say, Mom.
Well, don't rush me. This is a big decision. Okay, you can keep him.
Thanks, Mom.
Providing he lives up to all the rules and regulations. From now on, no more sleeping in the kitchen. Sleeps in your room.
And he stays off my rocker. If he wants one, he can use one of the guest rockers.
And no more chaperoning my boyfriends. Except the ones I tell him to.
And he learns to keep off my dresses. Unless he wipes his paws first.
Well?
Well, boy, it's up to you. You can see they don't like you.
You know, Kate, sometimes I think you're too strict with these girls.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.
Come ride the little train that is rolling down the tracks to the junction. Forget about your cares, it is time to relax at the junction. Lots of curves, you bet, and even more when you get to the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
There's a little hotel called the Shady Rest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
It is run by Kate. Come and be her guest at the junction.
Peoticoat Junction.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction. Peoticoat Junction.
Train's coming.
So I've been told.
Announcing the train's my job.
Hey, I hope Charlie didn't forget to make a stop at the creek to pick up Henry and Elsie. Look, would you put these in the back bedroom for her?
I thought you was putting Elsie upstairs, number 3.
Well, I don't think climbing stairs in her condition is a good idea. And would you bring in one of the rockers from the porch and put it in her room?
I don't know what all this fuss is about. Women's been having babies for years.
It has kind of worked out that way, hasn't it? And bring a footstool from my room and put it in hers, huh?
Footstool? Today's women are mollycoddled too much. My grandmother had 10 of them as easy as falling off a log. As a matter of fact, I think she did with one of them.
A woman needs fussing over at a time like this. Train's in.
When are you going to learn to keep your big mouth shut?
Thanks, Charlie. See you tomorrow.
Sure.
Here. Take these to the hotel.
Hi, honey. Did you pick up Elsie?
Yeah. See you later, Mom.
Uh-huh.
That dog ain't fooling nobody carrying them books. Everybody knows he don't go to school.
These are Elsie's.
Easy does it, Elsie.
All right, Henry. Hello, Mrs. Bradley.
Oh, Elsie, hello. You look in the pink of condition.
Do you really think so, Mrs. Bradley? I thought she was looking a bit peaked. Gee, Elsie, I just don't feel right about leaving you at a time like this.
Now, Henry, don't worry about that. We'll take good care of her.
Well, I know, but what if...
What if isn't due for 2 weeks, and you're only going to be gone 3 days?
Yeah, I reckon I am acting a bit foolish.
Take it from me, Henry. They ain't nothing to having a baby.
How'd you know? You ever had one?
Not personally, but Kate's had 3.
Goodbye, Elsie.
Bye.
Take care of yourself. Your vitamins. Have you got your vitamins?
Well, you packed them for me yourself. A, B, C.
That kid's going to be born reciting the alphabet. I'll take these bags up to the hotel.
We'd better get rolling.
I don't think I ought to go.
Henry Barton, you get on that train and stop worrying.
Yes, ma'am. All aboard!
Have a good trip.
I will. Don't forget to take your calcium pills. Now, please see that she gets plenty of rest. All aboard! If you need me, you know where I'll be.
Yes.
He's so flustered over being a father, he don't know what he's doing.
But you do.
Huh?
Well, don't you usually ride along with Charlie on the cannonball?
Holy smoke! Hey, Charlie, wait for me!
You're knitting them all blue. Pretty confident, aren't you?
Well, if this one ain't a him, then the next one's liable to be. Or the next one.
Sounds like you and Henry are planning a pretty big family.
We'd like to have 6. 3 boys and 3 girls. When I get married, I'm going to have all boys. Not me. I'm going to have girls. I'm going to raise dogs.
You change your mind about that.
Hey, what's going on in here? Elsie's supposed to be resting.
I'm not tired.
Well, you ought to rest anyway. Have you taken your vitamins?
Uh-huh.
How about your calcium pills?
Took those, too.
Look here. You ought to put your feet on this stool.
Oh, Mr. Carson, you don't have to mollycoddle me.
Oh, don't worry about that. Uncle Joe doesn't believe in it.
All right, everybody out. Scat.
See you later, Elsie.
Bye,
Bye.
Now, if there's anything you want, day or night, all you've got to do is tinkle this little bell, and I'll come a-running.
Enjoy your nap, Elsie, and when you wake up, you'll be ready for a nice, fast game of tennis.
Tennis? Now, see here. Kate, this ain't no joking matter. The whole thing's a matter of organizing for the emergency.
What emergency?
The one that could happen in the lower bedroom at the tinkle of a bell.
She isn't going to be an emergency for another 2 weeks, according to Doc Stewart.
It won't be the first time the stork didn't go by his calculations. I remember when Bobby Joe... Did you hear a bell?
No.
You sure?
I'm positive. Simmer down, Uncle Joe. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, but if it does, how are we going to get the doc out here?
Well, Floyd and Charlie have promised to stop by every run, just like they did with Billy Joe, Bobby Joe, and Betty Joe.
Yeah?
Though you might say they were a mite unusual being born in the daytime.
What do you mean?
Well, statistics say that more babies are born between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m. than any other time.
Kate, we ain't equipped to have a baby during them hours. We don't have a phone, and the cannonball don't make runs at that time of night.
Oh, Uncle Joe, calm down. Nothing's going to happen.
Well, Kate, I ain't a man to take my responsibilities lightly. We got to think of some way to get the doc out here when we need him.
Well, you got any ideas?
Not at the moment, but I'll think of something.
I'm sure you will.
Now, this year's my plan to fetch Doc Stewart to the Shady Rest in case Elsie starts blessed eventing between the hours of midnight and 4 a.m.
I'll see you later.
Well, wait a second, Doc. You don't know what you're supposed to do yet.
What do you think I studied in college? Mechanical engineering?
Well, he ain't important anyway. All he's got to do is deliver the baby. Sam, give me a can of that coffee.
Oh, sure. I'll just put it on Kate's bill.
I don't want to buy it. I just want to borrow it to demonstrate. Now, this here can represents the Shady Rest. Give me a can of them kidney beans. Now, this is Ben Miller's farm.
I don't raise kidney beans.
Shut up, man. I want something to represent Fred Ziffel's pig farm.
How about a box of bubble bath?
This is your place, Newt.
Yeah.
Now, I want you all to pay close attention so you'll know what you're supposed to do, when and if.
When and if what?
Floyd.
You've been talking so much, I forgot why we're here.
Deliver Elsie's baby.
I thought the doc was going to do that.
He will, if we ever get him there. Now, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Elsie wakes up and realizes that the time is near and rings the little bell I gave her. I wake up instantly, put on my boots, go out in the hall.
Ain't you going to put on your pants?
I put them on.
All you mentioned was your boots.
You fellas ain't going to listen.
Sorry, Joe.
Now, where was I?
Out in the hall in your boots.
Oh, yeah. Now, I slowly walk down the stairs so as not to panic the rest of the household. Cross the lobby, take my gun from behind the desk, and proceed to Elsie's room where she's still ringing the little bell. I knock on the door and enter.
And shoot her.
If you fellas ain't going to take this serious...
No, we're real serious, Joe. Now, what do you do next?
Well, after reassuring her that she ain't got nothing to worry about, I walk outside and fire my shotgun twice. Upon hearing my signal, Ben Miller gets up, gets his shotgun, goes out and takes 2 shots, which wakes up Fred Ziffel at his pig farm.
Well, Fred's a pretty sound sleeper. Suppose he don't hear the shots.
Well, if the shots don't wake me, my wife will, complaining about that fool Ben Miller shooting off his gun in the middle of the night.
Fred now fires his shotgun, which wakes up Newt, who fires his, and rouses Sam here, who rouses out Floyd and Charlie. Floyd runs to the cannonball and starts firing her up. Charlie goes to get Doc Stewart. By that time, Floyd's got up steam. They pile Doc on board and take off for the Shady Rest.
And wakes up Newt Kiley, who fires his gun, waking Sam, who rouses out Floyd and Charlie. Then, while Floyd is firing up the cannonball, Charlie fetches Doc Stewart, and they highball it over here. Now, is that the correct firing order?
Masterful job of organizing, huh?
I don't believe there's a man in the whole country who could have thought it up.
Why, Kate, there's lots of other men in the country can match my thinking ability.
That's a depressing thought.
But you know, there's not many men would have seen the money-making possibilities of this whole situation either.
Money making?
Kate, it's as obvious as a duck egg in a chicken coop. We're going to turn the Shady Rest into a maternity home, where the money will start coming in hand over fist.
Hold it!
We'll be knee-deep in $1,000 bills.
Now, slow down.
But we'll be carrying that green stuff to the bank.
Whoa, Uncle Joe, whoa, whoa. Let's back up to the part where we're turning the Shady Rest into a maternity home.
This is the greatest money-making scheme I ever had. Do you realize how many nervous, expectant fathers there are who'd be happy to pay big money to have their wives stay here, knowing the finest medical cares with an easy shotgun call? Now, don't thank me. You seen my gun oil? Hello, Elsie.
Hi, Mr. Carson.
How do you feel?
Fine.
No little peculiar twinges?
No.
Will you keep that little bell handy and don't you worry about nothing?
Okay. Mrs. Bradley, do you need any help?
I certainly do. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to get it from a much higher source.
I do believe Elsie's tinkling her little bell. Goodbye, baby. I don't believe I have to wake Elsie up for this. She needs her sleep for the real thing. up the girls and tell them to take up their battle stations.
Battles? Oh, my goodness!
Wonder what's taking Ben so long.
Fred, wake up!
What's the matter?
What's that darn fool Ben Miller shooting his gun off for in the middle of the night?
Elsie!
Doggone it. I blowed the gate off the pig pen, and the hogs are running wild.
I think I sprained my ankle.
Floyd! Charlie! Wake up! Elsie's time's come. I got the signal from Newt. It was kind of muffled, but I got it. Wake up!
Who's just done? You wake up, Elsie.
But I thought that Elsie...
So did I.
But what's Uncle Joe trying to do, Mom?
That's what I intend to find out. Uncle Joe?
Took you 6 minutes and 38 seconds to get down. You're going to have to do better than that. Lucky this is only a test maternity run.
Test maternity run?
Kate, you watch this boiling water and let me know the exact second it starts to boil.
I don't know about the water, but my blood's heating up pretty fast.
Betty, you stand outside the kitchen door and take the pot of boiling water and pass it on to Bobby Joe, who'll be at the desk, and you'll pass it to Billy Joe, who'll be at Elsie's room.
Where are you going, Florence Nightingale?
I'll be out on the front porch to clock the exact arrival of the doc.
If I were you, I'd be under the porch.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty angry with you.
And so are a lot of other people in this valley, waking him up and causing all this trouble.
I ain't causing nobody any trouble.
Oh, Fred! One of them just run through here.
We got plenty of time.
How's the pressure, Floyd?
120 pounds.
Ain't much, but it'll get us rolling.
They should be rolling about now. Are the girls at their stations?
No. I sent him to bed. I don't want him to hear the kind of language Doc's going to use when he gets here.
It's working.
When do we get to Dead Man's Curve?
What?
I said, when do we come to Dead Man's Curve?
That was it.
Let me
43 minutes. You could have made it almost as fast walking.
Where's Elsie?
Where anybody in their right mind would be this time of night? In a room, sound asleep.
Do you mean that Elsie ain't really gonna...
Then what are we doing here?
Explain it to them, Uncle Joe.
Well, I thought it'd be a good idea to have a little test run.
You got me out of a nice warm bed. You made me risk my life on that rinky-dink train, and you don't need a doctor?
Stick around, Doc. I don't think your trip's going to be wasted.
Wait a minute, Ben. You can't go to the county seat right now. There's no one else lives close enough to the Shady Rest to hear my signal.
Grandpappy's there. He knows what he's supposed to do.
You sure?
Well, ask him.
Grandpappy, you know what you're supposed to do when I fire 2 shots?
Hey?
You better talk louder, Joe.
You know what you're supposed to do?
What?
Ben, can't you put your business off for a few days, just till Elsie's husband gets back?
Gee, Joe, I can't.
I can see as good as anybody.
Hey, how about lighting a beacon fire?
Oh, that wouldn't wake him up.
Oh, he don't sleep much.
Yeah, a beacon fire. Yeah, Grandpappy's right on the job. I think Fred Ziff will have sense enough to fire out a different window this time. You shaved 8 minutes off the last run.
Joe, if this is another false alarm.
Oh, it ain't a false alarm. The track's on fire.
Elsie. Where's Uncle Joe? Well, just where you'd expect to find him at a time like this, sound asleep. Uncle Joe! Uncle Joe, wake up! Uncle Joe, what's the matter?
What's the matter?
The stork's on his way.
It's this time of night. Stork! Don't panic! Keep calm, I'm coming! I'm coming! Don't talk!
Do you think it could be indigestion, Mrs. Bradley?
Well, as a three-time mother, I doubt it.
According to the doctor, it isn't time for the baby.
It's usually the baby that decides when it's time for the doctor. Don't you worry, child. You'll get her on time.
Oh, I'm not worried. I know I can count on Mr. Carson.
Uncle Joe, you all right? Are you okay?
Everybody keep a calm, cool head. I'll start the water boiling.
Oh, no, you'll do that. You do the signaling.
I know what I'm supposed to do. Where's my shotgun?
No, Uncle Joe, you're supposed to light the signal fire.
Like somebody around here's got a calm, cool head.
Oh, Uncle Joe, you've got the matches.
Instead of standing there barking, do something. Go get the doc.
What's taking you so long?
Oh, Charlie and Floyd got this wet putting out the fire the other night. You can't depend on them in an emergency.
I've got an idea. I can run the handcar to Ben Miller's and get Grandpa to fire a shotgun.
I knew you girls would panic under fire.
But Uncle Joe!
Don't bother me with your silly ideas.
What are you going to do?
Pile this wood on the wheel bar and take it up to the hotel and dry it out on the stove. Not the rock, the doc. Stupid dog goes all to pieces in a time of crisis.
Grandpa Miller! Grandpa Miller! Please, Fred, hear it.
Betty Joe, what are you doing here?
Elsie's having her baby.
Hey?
Elsie's having her baby.
Oh. Well, don't just stand there. Fire the shotgun.
I ain't waking up the doc. Nothing's gonna happen.
But I got the signal.
It's just another of that Joe's fool test.
Yeah, but maybe.
Ain't no maybe. If you got the suicidal impulse to wake up the doc, that's your business.
Any sign of the train?
No.
And after all the practice I gave him.
I'm afraid this is one time the stork's going to beat the cannonball. I'm going to need some help. Billy Joe, you come with me.
Me? I don't know.
You're the oldest.
But, Mom, come on. Gosh, what'll we do, Uncle Joe?
Go boil some water.
But it is boiling. Gallons of it. Uncle Joe, I've been meaning to ask you, why do you have to boil water?
Well, easy. After all the moon picture shows you've seen, you ask a question like that?
Joe, you've been pacing up and down for an hour. Why don't you sit down?
At a time like this, somebody's got to do the pacing, or the baby won't be official.
The cannonball's coming.
Darn fools blowing that whistle. Now they woke up the baby. Baby.
It's a boy.
Oh, isn't he beautiful, Mom? Darling baby. Isn't he, Uncle Joe?
Same thing happened with every one of you girls.
I told you it wasn't a test run.
How's Elsie?
Just wonderful, Doc. Just wonderful. Oh, Billy Joe, I'm so proud of you. You did just fine.
Billy Joe! Like I said, I'm gonna race dogs.
Peoticoat Junction. This has been a Filmways presentation.